Now, for people that don't know, what exactly is Made in Chelsea?
Yeah.
Is it a reality show? Is it
Yeah.
not reality? Is it scripted? How do you make the scenes? Are you an actor? I asked you that earlier.
Yeah.
Explain it to people that might have never heard of the show.
Okay, so they describe it as a constructed reality. So we're not actors, we're real people, and we're going about our everyday life. So everything that you see, all the scenes that you see are real. We're not given scripts, so we're not told what to say or anything like that. When they say constructed, that means the scenarios. So for instance, it's not them just following us around with a camera. Part of the reason why I think the show has done so well is to do with the production. The team behind the scenes are incredible, and the way it's shot, like aesthetically, because obviously there are a lot of reality shows now, but the way ours is shot, it just looks really, really great.
Yeah. It's like a movie, right?
It's like a movie, right?
Yeah.
And that's what they wanted it. They wanted it to be really high end and really slick.
Right. A lot of long shots, like a lot of reality shows are really close-up shots.
So many different shots, different angles. And
in public places where audio is tricky, and I don't know how
it's an incredible, you know what that's like, and so when they say constructed, basically what that means is, so they would call you and be like, right, tomorrow we need you at Box Park, we need you there at 10 a.m. You're going to be doing a scene with so and so, and then when you get there, they'll brief you and tell you, okay, so in this scene, we need you to, talk about what happened last night, because obviously, so-and-so kissed so-and-so. So everything that's happened is real, but obviously you just need some sort of direction. But yeah, and that's, I guess, like I was saying to you earlier, part of the hard part at the beginning was getting used to being in front of a camera.
Which is strange because your mother's a photographer.
I know, but there's a huge difference between a camera and a video camera. I don't know why that is.
Why?
I have no idea. Because maybe because when I was a kid I wasn't around a video camera, but my mom was always shooting us, obviously. So I was comfortable in front of a camera. As soon as the video camera came out, I don't know what it is. It's just like, it just couldn't be natural. I think also because I was aware that behind that camera there was a huge amount of people watching. And because I wasn't only just representing myself, I saw myself as representing my brand. I was very cautious, and I didn't want to let also anyone of my friends, a lot of my friends I hadn't actually told that I was doing the show. So these are friends of mine that I've known for years, and had I gone to them and said, I'm going to do Made in Chelsea, they would have been like, what are you doing, all this stuff. And so in the back of my mind I had my friends, I had, my parents, my family I didn't want to let down, my brand. So all of those things were playing in, and then I was, had the camera there. So it was one of those things at the beginning, becoming comfortable, and then being able to kind of be more relaxed and be yourself. But that for me was an amazing sort of thing to overcome. And I think with a lot of people, when they started, everyone's a little bit rigid, and over time, as people kind of loosen up and get used to the camera, I think that's when the show really started getting stronger and stronger. Because aesthetically, it was always there, it was always on point. And it was just, as people became more comfortable, that's when it really, started developing.
Do you look at your earlier episodes and do you cringe and you're like, oh my
course.
gosh, and then do you just get more open and more relaxed?
Yeah, but even when I can't actually really watch it. I very rarely watch it.
Okay.
They used to do every week. They would want everyone to watch it together. So on Monday nights they would do a screening. And I would I would never turn up. And then over time they started putting it in the contract that you had to show up. Okay. But yeah, there was something about watching. Still, I have it now. Watching myself on TV, I just cringe every time.
And so now they say show up at Box Park. You got to talk about someone who kissed someone last night.
Yeah.
And then does the plot just go wherever it goes? And are they told you guys, all right, time to mix it up, time to cheat on your girlfriend, time to pick a fight with this guy? Because stuff has to happen.
Yeah.
And do they wait on your cues and then develop
No, I think
it?
what happens is, obviously in the back of their mind they have an idea of the direction they want it to go, and obviously it doesn't always go that way. So I think from a writer's point of view, because there are people behind the scene, there are people coming up with ideas and we should shoot here and let's bring in this character from the past and that might create this sort of tension. So they have ideas of what they think will happen. But, a lot of the time it's not going to happen like that because we're not acting, we're not given a script. So that's why it's quite hard to film the show, and that's why you have to be on call. You're on call all the time. And for me, over time, that's what started becoming hard because, I'm trying to run my brand and do my other creative projects, and then at the same time trying to do the show. And it goes back to that whole thing of, you can't just love it, you've got to live it. And for me to try and live my creativity and doing my projects and doing my brand while trying to live doing this show started becoming, it started becoming hard juggling the two together. But at the same time, the show opened up so many doors, and I was learning so much. I was meeting amazing people, and it was possible to do the two. But I 4 years I thought was
It's quite a long time.
It's a pretty good.
And
stint.
how much of that time, like during the year, are you on call? I mean, is it shooting like a few months and then you have a break?
Shoot. So you do 2 seasons a year.
Okay.
And I think it's 4 months. 4 months on, and then you have a break, and then another 4 months.
So pretty full on.
Yeah, it's pretty full on.
Okay, and you did a season in New York City as well?
So we did the season in New York City, which was, that was unbelievable.
And like a year in, are you thinking like, this is crazy? Are you super popular? Are you a celebrity now? Does it feel weird?
I would never say we're a celebrity.
Okay.
If a Z-list celebrity probably.
I wouldn't say you're a Z-list.
But no, it was very surreal. It was very surreal being for people, people recognizing you. Even now, I find it weird, people coming up or asking for photos or whatever it may be. But yeah, I guess none of us had any idea how the show was going to go and how season on season it was going to get bigger and bigger.
And it was a huge success. Millions of people watching it. BAFTA nominated.
Yeah.
I mean, that's real. That's cred.
Yeah. But not just here. The weirdest thing is not just here in the UK. I just got back from Australia. I went to Melbourne for a week for their fashion festival there. And to be on the other side of the world and to have people recognizing you there is so surreal. I think they even play it in Mexico.
MW.
And we're dubbed.
And in America too? Do people watch it?
In America, it's funny because, I think obviously they had plans to get it into America, and I think that's part of the reason why we filmed in New York, because they wanted to have these Brits over in New York, and it would kind of create a bit more of a noise. But for some reason, I know it went on Bravo. I think it was on Bravo for a little bit. For some reason, it just never kicked off, which I find very, very strange because obviously they love reality TV in America.
And they love Brits.
They love the Brits and, Chelsea. And
it's a highly competitive TV environment.
I
in
know,
America.
that's the thing.
There's so much television. So you just never know. Something
I
pops.
think that's probably it, yeah.
And maybe they didn't get it. It's filmed very movie-like sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe the Americans didn't realize it was reality,
Maybe that's it.
It's a weird
Maybe they
fine
just
line.
thought it was a really bad sitcom.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's hard to know what pops in America and what doesn't.
Yeah, so no, it never worked in America. But yeah, it was very strange. But an incredible experience. And
what was your best moment and worst moment of those 4 years of Made in Chelsea?
During the filming period? Best moment, 100% New York. Okay. Those 3 months in New York were, probably 3 best months of my life, I reckon.
Right.
To be in that city,
pad
an incredible pad
in the city
with all my good friends. Filming schedule was a lot more relaxed there than here, so we had a lot of free time, and it was just 3 months to kind of. It was like having that year out again. It was like being 18 again and having that time where you just kind of feel that you can just do what you want and just have a great time. And to be in New York, you know what New York's like. I mean, it's the most incredible city.
Yeah, it's like crack.
Yeah, it's insane.
Worst part?
Worst part, I guess for me, the whole thing of the juggling, it was just the thing of I got frustrated sometimes about, I kind of felt that, I think a lot of people did, and that's not their fault. I mean, they're trying to create a show here, obviously, but this whole thing of being so within that filming period of 4 months, you just can't make any plans, and having to you know, especially with my business, if I had things planned and then, you know, I would have to, you know, they call me and be like, oh, we need you to film tomorrow. And I'd be like, well, I've got this thing. And they're like, and you would just have to drop it. You'd have to always go with that. And, you know, at the time, you get frustrated, but it's not their fault at all. I mean, they're just trying to create a show and they did an incredible job and they still do. So I guess for me, that was a hard thing, trying to kind of juggle between the two.
Did you grow tired of the work? Was it ever a point where like you're gonna go to Box Park, somebody kissed someone last night, and you're like, yeah, I did this so many times, like I can't even get excited about this scene anymore?
I guess, yeah, there were times like that. I guess for me, I didn't mind doing this kind of smaller scenes with friends and stuff like that, but it was when you're having to do the event days. So every season you do like an event day, and it would be like a full 12-hour day, right? A lot of time it would be in locations outside of London. And there'd just be so much sitting around, and you know, you might not even have a scene. I remember sometimes you'd be sitting around, you didn't even have a scene, and it's like, or if your scene, it could be at the end of the day, and you're just kind of sitting around waiting, and those days were kind of frustrating. But as with anything, I guess at the beginning when you do it, it was like so exciting, and you know, it's like, wow, look at all this, and then slowly as it goes on, it kind of gets a little bit repetitive, and like you say, there's so many times that you could, you know, oh my God, who kissed who? And, you know, I'm not big for gossip.
To watch the rest of this fascinating interview, click on the link below and go to londonreelacademy.com. There you can sign in with your social media, log in and watch the rest of the episode for free, along with all of our episodes on London Reel, my webinars, and all of our premium content, all located over at londonreelacademy.com. So click on the link below, you'll be directed there and you can watch the rest of this fascinating interview, and I'll see you there.